Hey comic book fans, welcome back to A Road to Comic of the Year, and this is your host Mike Spider Slayer. Guys, if you're not familiar with this series, this is the series where you, the viewers, get to vote on which books will be nominated for Comic of the Year. And then once we get all those nominations in place, again, you, the viewers, will get to pick which book will be nominated for Comic of the Year. So guys, we will get to see the results of Group 3 in a second, and then we'll also get the introduction to grouping number 4. So let's get started, guys. Here was a recap of the books in group number 3 that you guys could have voted for. The first book was Invincible, issue 121. That's right, guys. The next book here goes to Manifest Destiny, issue number 18. The next is another independent comic book, and that goes to The Little Mermaid, issue number 4. And I actually got a vote from this comic saying, show some love. This was a great series. Next on this book goes to Batman number 43. That was the next book in this grouping. And finally, Secret Wars issue number 1 of 8. This was the book that got all the hype, that kicked it all off, but now is slowly crumbling apart. So, the votes are in. You guys voted. Let's find out who gets nominated for Comic of the Year and who gets to go to the wild card round. So, with one lonely vote, unfortunately, this time around, this issue of Invincible didn't cut it for people. This will not get nominated for Comic of the Year. Another series that didn't get much love was, unfortunately, Manifest Destiny, issue number 18. Great series. However, I don't think that many people read it, but you should. It's a great, great book. All right, next we go forward, and another book that only got a couple of votes, and that was Little Mermaid, issue number 4. Definitely a series that is under the radar, should be read by a lot of people. It was a great read. Meredith Finch reads it, guys. If you do get a chance, please read it. All right, so now it comes down to 2 books, and it comes down to Batman, issue 43, which is from the big 2, and Secret Wars, issue number 1 of 8. Who will win? Who will get the wild card round? Well, let me just tell you guys that it was even Steven here. These series basically got the same amount of votes. So when it comes down to the same amount of votes, it goes down to me. I have the final say in the groupings. Now, unlike last year, it came down to, obviously, the comic of the year got the same amount of votes, and I had to make that pick. Next time, if it comes down to that this year, next time this year, whatever I'm trying to say, if it comes to the same scenario, I'm going to have you guys pick. But when it comes to the groupings, these will be my picks. So out of these 2 books, I am going to pick Secret Wars, issue number 1. I enjoyed this book a lot when it first came out. I was so pumped for this series, and I love the explosions, the emotions on the people's faces, what happened to it, all the chaos that was going on in this issue. I really enjoyed it. As much as I love this Bruce Wayne story in here, this I felt just had a greater impact on me personally. So for me, this will get nominated for Comic of the Year. I'm looking at it as an individual issue, not as a series as whole. So this will go into the grouping, and this book will go into the wild card round. So now we will introduce to you guys group number 4. All right, and there's another reason why I picked this book as well, because the first book that is being introduced to group number 4 is Batman issue number 40. So you can see that Batman has been very strong on these books, because obviously Batman's very popular and he kicks ass. So Batman issue 40, if you guys haven't remembered, this was the last issue that we got to see true Batman doing battle against the Joker. This was a epic issue, very, very awesome. The artwork was great. Again, this is the whole reason why you saw what currently is Batman now, Commissioner Gordon, because of this battle here. So if you guys want to see this get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote for Batman issue 40. I have a feeling that this will be a very strong book this week. And once again, it goes up against another Secret Wars book. This one goes to Secret Wars issue number 4. I remembered this book. I think this was the book where it had some serious action. The only book that's really had, I think, a lot of action in here. And this was the issue where we find out that Phoenix Force Cyclops gets destroyed by Doctor Doom. And we also get the destruction of Doctor Strange in this issue. And that was a fantastic ending to this book. And I felt that this was the last truly good issue of Secret Wars. Ever since then, it's totally dropped off. But this was an awesome issue. And if you guys want to see this get nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right, next is a series that was very well done. And for me personally, I don't see this being, a true Comic of the Year type of book, but it was #1 on my countdown videos at 1 week. And this was Superior Iron Man issue number 5. This had a origin story of Teen Abomination in here. Tom Taylor always does a great job with his characters. If you're reading All New Wolverine right now, you can see what he's doing with Laura and how he's really expressing that character or fleshing out that character. This is what he did here. He took a Teen Abomination character that no one even knew or cared about and gave it a story. And I really enjoyed it, and so that's why this is being put in this grouping. So if you want to see this vote, please vote for it. It's Superior Iron Man issue number 5. Another book this week that we're going to talk about is The Uncanny Humans, issue number 0. This book was really well done. I remember reading it, and I was like, wow. Kind of ties into what's going on with the story right now with Uncanny Humans, the all new, all different. And this was the issue where we get to really see beautiful artwork. We get to see the extent of Black Bolt's powers in here when he just whispers. We can see how strong it is. Medusa looks absolutely gorgeous in this book. We see that Black Bolt makes a deal with Kang to take away his son, to protect him from the incursions, and he has nothing to do with his son anymore. Otherwise, King is going to make his world into shit. And again, you can see how strong his powers were. This was a beautifully written book. This one was done by Charles Soule, and it was a great book. So if you guys want to see that book nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. All right. So the next book that we're going to talk about now is a new book that just recently came out, and this was Spider-Man 2099 issue number 1. This book was really well done. It really shows Spidey 2099, Miguel O'Hara doing American Gladiator competitions. You get to see he's in a real steady relationship with his girlfriend Tempest in this book, and you wind up finding out that in the end there's a dramatic accident that happens, and it leaves you with a huge cliffhanger at the end because you find out that she's actually pregnant, and just as that happens, a whole truck comes barreling through and you see her die in his arms. Or does she really? So with that cliffhanger, it was absolutely outstanding, and it kind of drives the character going forward in this series on the way Miguel O'Hara is currently. So this is a really great start to this series. If you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. And last but not least, again, one of the books that came out recently, and you're going to get these books thrown into these groups as the year comes to a close. So this was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 3. This book was really well done. This had the introduction to the Human Torch into the all-new, all-different Marvel, where you get to see him interact with Spidey, and you feel like Johnny Storm in this issue is just at his breaking point because he's lost his best friend, he's lost his sister, he lost his brother-in-law, and it just feels like he lost Peter Parker as a friend as well in this issue, and he kind of goes off, and it's a tribute issue to the Fantastic Four as Peter bought the Baxter Building, and he puts up a statue at the end, and this is Marvel's way of saying, you know, when it's time, the Fantastic Four will always be welcome back here. They're never forgotten. So I thought that was a pretty cool tribute there that Marvel did for them. So if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote now. So guys, there you have it. You got to see the results for Group 3. You have the new books for Group 4. Please, guys, vote, vote, vote. Every vote counts. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Really appreciate your time. And I'll see you next week. So take care, guys.